I think we've all heard something about the controversy connected to the closure of services on remote Aboriginal communities in Western Australia. We had the opportunity when the Standing Committee of the Anglican Church of Australia met only a short time ago to hear the concern of our Aboriginal and Islander members, things that they felt very passionately about, and the Standing Committee with them agreed should be a matter of the Church taking a clear position on the situation in those places. We heard from the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander members of our Standing Committee about the importance of remote communities, the importance of land and identity, and I think from many people the shared story wherever they were, even places far distant from Western Australia, the shared story of how the suggestion that remote communities might be closed down, perhaps people having no alternative but to move, evoked from people in the eastern states something of the woundedness still of their shared experience, having experienced perhaps even in previous generations forced removal, dislocation from land. And the Standing Committee agreed that this is something that the Church itself doesn't always speak from a position of the highest virtue, that we've been involved in various times with Aboriginal missions, with the relocation of people to central sites. But we did feel that there's a great theme of hurt in the experience of Aboriginal older people in Australia today that perhaps needs to be better understood by the wider community. It'd be easy for us to dismiss the events that happened as recently as the 1st of May here in Melbourne, where there was a large protest that shut the city down for a few hours, as those things as being just an inconvenience to us. But the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people on our Standing Committee, the ones who really shared their hearts with us, spoke about how the constant experience of Indigenous people in our country is one of managing to live with displacement from country, often forced removal, not really having an option, seldom in their experience being consulted. My message to the Prime Minister and to the Premier of Western Australia, other leaders of our country who are in a position to influence some of these decisions, is for them to have the widest and most credible consultation about these questions. We know that there are significant issues that affect people living in remote communities. We understand that the provision of the same services on those places as might be experienced in bigger centres is difficult. But the issues of identity and the language that we've been using around this is something that has really stirred deep things within the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander members of our church, and I suspect more broadly in the community itself. I think as a wider Australian community, we should be listening deeply to the experience of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. They are looking for our solidarity with them this time. They do value, actually and symbolically, people living on country, living on land, and find that nurturing and a life-giving source of hope for the future. So the Anglican Church wants to stand with Aboriginal people in that situation, knowing that the situation of the questions are complex, but urging us all as a wider Australian community to be part of working for a just resolution of these questions. Thanks for listening, and glad to hear your feedback. You can do that on my blog, anglicanprimate.org.au. Important issues that we need to come together as a community to have a shared understanding and a voice about.